Welcome to the Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic comedian Karyn Reece with my co-host Alexis Zappia.
Hi.
So today's kind of a funny day. Obviously, I don't know whether it's two good minds think alike. I don't know which one is the good mind. That would be you.
I don't know.
But
we end up wearing this. Who comes to work like this with it? Literally, so not planned. I will tell you this. Sometimes we do coordinate, for colors and aesthetics and whatever, what we're wearing. But we 100% came in here. We took off our coats and we're wearing the same shirt with the same jewelry.
Yeah.
100% not planned. Didn't talk about it. This has never happened before, but I love it.
Well, that or Spirit's trying to have a fun joke on us. One way or the other. That or we just have good taste.
I love it.
Yeah.
We're so synchronistic, though, so it works.
Well, yeah, we have weird things happen all the time. I mean, the other day we were on the telephone talking, chatting, and just as I was about to say something, I was looking up online, something, came up, and then...
Yeah, she said something like, okay, so what happened was we were on the phone, and all of a sudden the signal dropped.
Yep, so we lost, yeah.
Right, so I'm trying to call her back, she's trying to call me back. As she was trying to call me back, and I was trying to call her back, the call didn't go through, so I just waited for her to call me. I was scrolling on Facebook, and there's like this new article from New York Post that there's like this geode or whatever that was found in the shape of Cookie Monster when you like cut it open. Now she pulls up trivia facts and goes, she calls me back and goes, "Do you know that Cookie Monster's real name is Sid?" I was like, wait a second. I was just looking up, not looking up, but like popped up. And now look, it's like we're the same brain.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice for me?
Well, oftentimes.
It is true. We do finish each other's sentences. People don't realize it, but that's when you know you're in synchronicity. Synchronicity. So you finished my...
Synchronicity.
Exactly. So it's just kind of interesting how that all unfolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot, though.
We often share a brain, but I think that's also why our dynamic works so well, because it's like where one leaves off, the other picks up.
That could be dangerous, too,
I mean, yes, but I love it. It's what makes our dynamic so natural.
Except for I want to, channel you when I drive, because the way you drive, Leadfoot.
I get a little excited. What can I say? Get a little excited when I drive.
It's easy to do. We have a great show ahead today too. So
I know we have a new partnership with Salon Gianti. So excited about that. They're going to be giving us a trending now topic. So excited about them. And readings, of course, because anywhere Karyn goes, Spirit goes. Truthfully, literally anywhere you go, Spirit goes. Mm-hmm. We were on a call this morning, and she's talking to this woman, and she goes, "Are you connected to like an Erica, a Ricky, talking to a Ricky?" And I'm like, the woman didn't connect. I said, "Yeah, it's because I'm talking to a Ricky right now. We're texting. It's a client of ours who's looking to sign up for an event that we were doing." And literally, she texted me this morning. Her name is Erica, and she goes by Ricky. How did you know that? I don't know.
I know everything.
I don't know. You are. I always say you're all-knowing.
Oh, I love that.
You have like a direct line over there to Spirit.
I've got my connections.
Yeah, you have. It's like 1-800-SPIRIT. Let me call and like.
Whichever one sign up. Exactly. One way or the other.
Exactly. Stay tuned for more from the Karyn Reece Show. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So we are so excited to have Stephanie Clemens, who's the associate choreographer and part of the original cast of Hamilton, which is one of my absolute favorite musicals. So it's such a big deal to have Stephanie on with us today. So welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
So I have to ask you, Stephanie, what is your favorite scene to watch in Hamilton versus your favorite scene to perform in Hamilton?
I love that question. So there's one number that I love performing and I love watching, and that's Wait for It.
Woo!
And that song is just, I mean, Lynn said, like, leave it to me to write the best song for the other character. Like he always jokes that that's like the best song in the show, and he wrote it for the bird, not the Hamilton. But the song is so powerful. I love watching it build. I love the way the cast just like slowly joins in, and honestly performing it, like everything you feel when you're watching it, you feel it like 100 times on stage. Like everyone's just vibing with each other, and I love it. But my real favorite number to perform as a dancer is The Room Where It Happens. That number is like the ultimate. It is so fun to do. There's such a payoff at the end, like the final step, like the ripping step is so cool. And I love performing that every time.
I got so excited over that. Now I just want to start singing. I'm like, how do I like control myself? So what was it like behind the scenes after the curtain closed during Hamilton or at the end of Hamilton? And then second part to that is also like, who are you the closest with from the original cast?
I was a swing originally. So a swing is someone who covers multiple roles in the show. And so there's a few swings backstage. And so my closest friend was another swing. Her name is Morgan. And she did another show that I associate choreographed called In the Heights. She was in that show. And so we've known each other for a long time. And it was really lovely doing a show with her. But honestly, I, as like the associate, kind of didn't get to sort of fraternize with the cast quite as much. And also I live on Long Island and I have to commute home. So I just like, we were like kind of like a little bit all business. I mean, we're all friends. We have like, we talk to each other, but I was never part of like the group that like went out for drinks after. And truthfully, people didn't go out that much because the show was so hard, like maybe on Sunday at the end of the week. But what was it like after the show? The show was exhausting. So people were usually exhausted. People usually went home. I've done other shows where people, go out to, a lounge or whatever after, and Hamilton wasn't really like that. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think I went home. But there was a lot of, there's signing autographs on stage and people bring people backstage and give tours. I was always giving tours. I'm rolling my eyes because, it's like your kindergarten teacher. It's like, my son's boss is coming. Can you do me a favor? And it's like, you suddenly feel obligated to every person who's ever done a nice thing for you in their life, that you're just like, sure, I'll stay 30 minutes after work again. It's just weird. But, I did it. So that was it. A lot of tours, a lot of signing autographs, and then getting my butt home so I could sleep.
What a concept, huh? I have actually I have two questions. Would you have, looking back, would you have casted your crew a little bit differently, your actors looking back? And if Lynn didn't take on the part, who would you cast for that position?
I would not have done one thing differently. I think everybody was perfect. We had a lot of personalities in there, but everybody was so fiery and correct. And to be honest, it was a room full of the hardest working people I've ever met. And even when people were tired, they brought their A game. And it was like, you always knew. It was the type of stage where like, if you fell, you knew somebody was going to catch you. Like it was like an Olympic team. Do you know what I mean? Just the best of the best. So I would not recast a single soul. And Lynn, if he didn't play it, Javi Munoz, who succeeded him and who was his standby, is so talented and has been covering him for years. I mean, he was the person for the job. He's so passionate. He is such a raw actor and his voice is just glorious. So Javi. And actually the gentleman who's playing it now in, I think, the new LA company that just opened but didn't open because of the pandemic, he's from UK. He opened the show in the UK. And he is just like, he is so unbelievably talented and he's incredible. He's one of my favorite Hamiltons I've ever seen. And I'm so grateful that he is doing the show. So if it wasn't Lynn and it wasn't Javi, I would say the gentleman that's doing the UK and LA company.
Which it must be so different. I mean, this is not the question I had planned to ask you, but like, this is about American history. So any other show, any other country that has a show like this, like, I don't know, I think it's just so cool to think about, like, this is our country's history. We lived it. These people, they have no ties to it. Like, there's no, I mean, they are in it for the storyline, obviously, and the amazing work that Lynn did, but there's no tie to it. They didn't live it. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that, actually. A friend, she's British, but she lives in Israel, and she was visiting New York, And she said, can you get me Broadway show tickets? And I was like, sure, assuming like that her, like everybody else in my entire life and that was ever attached to the walls in my life wanted Hamilton tickets. I was like, sure, I can get you tickets. You know, there'll be house seats. It's going to be like 6th row. And she was like, oh, no, I don't want to see Hamilton. And I was like, that's my show. Like, what do you mean? And she was like, I don't know. I don't really know the story. And I just want to see The Lion King. And I was like, I'm offended. I'm extremely offended. And I convinced her to go to see the show. And she was like, that was phenomenal. I can't believe that I wasn't going to see it. And in the UK, we didn't know how it was going to land. And it has been so successful there. And I think it's because, I mean, look, much of the world is not democratic. However, a lot of the world is now living in democracy. And at the end of the day, it's the story of the birth of democracy, and people who live in democratic societies can relate to that on really like a visceral level, especially if they've grown up in that. And you know, although they have, you know, their queen and the royal family, ultimately it's a democracy in which they understand, you know, the idea of free market and the idea of societal institutional sort of biases that place people in certain positions. And so all that to say, it's been really successful internationally, which is exciting, I think, because of that reason.
I love that. I love that. I've never actually thought about that. I mean, I've seen the show so many times on Broadway and then touring, and listen to the music, sorry, TMI, in the shower and when I drive. I never really thought, I'm like, we get it because we grew up with this, but not because it's a different country. I love that. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. It was so amazing having you on with us. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you back on stage soon.
Yay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Bye. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So as we said in previous weeks, if you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by writing in on her Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages at Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Twitter and on Instagram at Karyn Reece. If you would like to connect with your loved ones or hear from your future, you can enter to win, and then potentially you will get chosen for a random reading. So today we have a very lucky winner with us who got chosen. Michelle, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. And whenever Karyn's around, Spirit's around. So Karyn, have at it.
We'll find out if you're good or bad. Your grandmother's laughing on your mom's side, just so you know. I got a bunch of people starting to come in. Is there a Pat connection around you or around your mom, like a Patricia Ann or a Pat?
My father's name is Pat.
Oh, it's your dad. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. We love Pat. Say hello to Pat too on behalf of Grandma, just so you know. Actually, I have your dad's parents coming in too. Also, who is an October birthday, passing your anniversary?
Well, my dad and my father-in-law who passed away, but they both had the same birthday in October.
Yeah, because your father-in-law is here too. I couldn't figure out which man. I knew he somewhere. Well, happy birthday to everybody. Your father-in-law couldn't wait to come in today, and he wanted to give a big hug and a kiss to you as well. Does your husband ever lose keys, or did he lose a key? Or are you like, who loses keys? It's not you. Did your husband lose a key? You didn't lose a key recently, did you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, you did. That's why I asked, because he goes, no, it's my daughter-in-law. You know she's blonde, Karyn. That's what your father-in-law said. How the heck did you lose a key?
It got stuck in between my seat and I couldn't find my work key and I was freaking out, but I found it.
They all thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Your father-in-law really gets a kick out of that. Wait till you tell your husband what your dad had to say.
I will.
By the way, your grandmother on your mother's side too. Who's the Mary and where's the is there somebody connected to you as well with the name Ellen? Do you have a friend named Ellen, Eleanor, Ellen? Ellie? Wait, does your daughter have an Ellie, Ella, Bella? That's what
She's Gabrielle.
No, does she have a friend with the name like Bella, Ella, or another Gabriella? That name comes next. Or keep that in your daughter's future because she'll have a friend with a similar name. That's what I see. Actually, I see a baby. So she might be naming her baby like Ella or Bella, something along that line.
She does love that name, actually, for a baby.
Grandma
That's
told me
funny.
that.
Mm-hmm.
My father-in-law says, no babies anytime soon. Marriage babies.
I agree with him.
I did see some travel to Florida. Did you like going to Florida, you and your family?
Yeah, my parents live there.
That's what I was just gonna say. Your mother's mother says you got a trip coming up. Make sure you take it. You know, when things, quiet down, you love going there, and say hello to mom and dad on that one as far as that's concerned. Does your mother have a problem with her foot or walking?
My mother-in-law.
Or it's your mother, because somebody said something about a mother having a problem. Yeah, well, that would make sense here. Your father-in-law did say that. Little concerned with her, issue with her foot and her, oh, really? He's funny. He says, tell her not to put her foot in her mouth. Ha ha.
He'd probably say that.
And he likes to go to the OTB. I just want to share that with you. He knows how
That's that was my grandfather-in-law was always at the OTB.
I've got like 5 people talking all at once. Yeah. So somebody just said, tell her I like to go to, you got a whole mess of people coming in. You're
Oh,
fine
good.
on the other side. Your money looks good in this lifetime too. So tell your husband not to worry. You go and do all your travels. That's what Graham said to say. Actually, and your father-in-law said, do the things that you want to do in this life, because when you get to the other side, you realize you missed out on things. So FYI on that. Do you ever smell like a fragrance and you think of like your grandmother or your father-in-law? You're very perceptive psychically, but it only comes like for 20 seconds. You might smell a hint of lavender or maybe some kind of soap or something that may remind you of, your in-law, or your loved ones on the other side. Because your father-in-law says, I'll send you a fragrance. So just keep that in mind. If you smell something for a quick second, doesn't register in the room, whoever you think of first is who you're picking up psychically. FYI. You don't have a pool in your yard, do you?
No.
Do you want a pool in your yard?
No, we use my neighbors. I had a pool when I was younger, but I use my neighbor's pool.
That's what your father-in-law's laughing about. So you use your neighbor's pool instead of yours. Because he said you should have a pool in your yard. You like to swim in your yard, in your neighborhood, or something like that. Anyways, your kids look like they're going to do really well in this lifetime. And I got to tell you, your father-in-law said, I'm just really proud of them. You're great parents. And actually, they're going to be very good to you when you're older. And it looks like your daughter will name her baby the baby name that she really likes that we just spoke about.
Oh, good.
Daughter that. Is there a Betty or an Elizabeth? Is that somebody your mom's connected to? Betsy, Betty, Elizabeth? Is that a friend of hers?
The only Betty would be an aunt, a great aunt of mine, my father's aunt, but she lives close.
She lives close to your mom? Oh, that's
She
right.
lives close to us.
Or close to you. Okay, so it's Aunt Betty to you, because somebody just, I think it was your grandma said something about Betty, or somebody just mentioned it over there. And I felt like an older woman. That's why at first I thought it was connected. You may want to check on Aunt Betty a little bit more, is all they're saying. One other thing, do you have a problem with your electrical in your car, or the lights or something?
We had a problem with my husband's truck, but we finally got rid of it. And yes, the lights drove me crazy.
Yes, because that's what your father-in-law said, and he was laughing. Good job. Tell your husband this is what your dad, Anyways, God bless you on that one.
Thank you so much for joining us, Michelle. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
We are so excited to finally have found a salon that works for us after so long. It's called Salon Gianti, and we spoke to the owner, Reece, who is giving us a lot of tips and trends on how to make our hair and your hair the best during this time.
It's kind of interesting because she said bangs, curtain bangs are now the new in, which is
Yeah.
great because it definitely can, bring attention to your eyes or cheekbones or whatever. I love that
Short,
idea.
too.
Short is nice too.
And it's honestly, as much as it is the style, it's so easy. It's manageable.
Yep.
It's easy. It makes it, you're always on the go, or you just don't feel like doing anything, and it just makes it, you can just throw it up or leave it down.
Yeah, she's got some really great tips. And you know what I like about Elise too is she'll actually look at your face, your shape, the way the light hits your face, and she'll give you suggestions in terms of, what kind of cut would be best for you or what kind of style, which is
And
nice.
The salon there, truly is so pretty. Like
Oh,
it's
it is
so, it just
pretty.
makes you feel at home, and all of the stylists they cater to you. They really, we work with a lot of people there, and they allow you to give input instead of them just doing it for you, and they kind of guide you along the way. It's just like a very nice process.
It definitely works really well. And it's nice too because they deal with all face shapes. I mean, they all have really good eyes. They're artisans in my opinion, when you really look at what they do. But I was amazed at how fast they were,
Yeah.
cutting hair or doing whatever they're doing. So
I mean, I literally went in like layering, and whether my hair is like straight as it is or when it's curly, believe it or not, my hair is curly. It's not always like this because when we film it's straight. But how I can have really curly hair, and then when we film and it's straight, how I can style it in 2 ways.
It's an amazing experience, and when you walk out, you feel so good about yourself, and you know you have that look or that cut that you want.
Exactly.
And they do a great job identifying it.
So remember, shoulder length, curtain bang, easy, manageable. Thank you guys so much, and of course, thank you to Elise from Salon Giante. If you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and Twitter at Karyn Reece. You can also call our office at 716-580-2520 to inquire about booking an appointment. So, we've talked about synchronicity and things like that. But what is the difference between being synchronistic and then just being a coincidence? So people can say that, like, you and I showing up to work today in the same clothes is a coincidence. But I don't think it is, to be honest with you. I don't think it is. I think there's something deeper there.
I just think you have good taste.
Thanks, you do too.
They're very similar. Coincidence, unexpected, you see things you're not really looking for them. Synchronistic is a little bit more where you're in the groove. We're both in the same energy grid, because that's really what you're dealing with is energy. So that's why you'll get similarities, or you might get things that just pop up. If you're in the right zone, as I tell people, things will come to you easier and what have you. That energy, and you can feel the energy, at least I can. But they're very similar. One has a little bit more intention behind it, and the other one's just a little bit more psychic in nature.
So have you ever twinned with anyone before? Not like you have a twin, but like in that. You accidentally, that you accidentally wore like the same thing, or like bought some of the same thing as someone bought you, type of thing.
Oh yeah, my mother and my aunt used to try to dress my cousin and myself alike when we were really young. We both looked very much the same.
That's
so much so that my cousin's grandmother, we ran into her one time, and she said to my mother, "What are you doing with Lisa?" And she goes, "It isn't Lisa, it's Karyn." Oh yeah, and I think it was in 12th grade. We're a year and a half apart. We bought each other the exact same sweaters for Christmas. Same size, same color.
That's so fun. Can you blame it on the fact that you're psychic or no?
In that case, it could have been, but I was genuinely trying to get what I thought was a great gift.
That's so funny. So even though you're psychic, you do believe that part of it is like synchronistic as well. Like you didn't channel the fact that I was like in my closet today being like, oh, what can I wear today? And then you chose the same thing. So that was more a synchronistic thing than like a psychic tuning in type of thing.
Exactly.
Got you.
Yes,
oh, that's so cute.
Energy.
I love that. We're so similar. I love that.
Don't I wish? Thin, beautiful, and gorgeous.
You are. You are. You are. That's so funny. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of The Karyn Reece Show.